some new initiative that's happening on both. Um, but then uh, most of the ride hailing inclusive is in compliance with the amendments made on the Section 16 of the Value Added Tax 2013. There will be a 21.9% VAT charge on fees being taken by all ride-hailing services, which both is inclusive. So this VAT charge is actually this 21.9% calculation is on commission invoice, and that how would our final fare be charged? So first and foremost, to explain the VAT charge, that's the 21.9%, and how it's going to be imposed on, who is it going to be imposed on, and how is it going to affect our earnings moving forward, and also how is it going to affect the pricing moving forward. So this is to clarify some misunderstanding that might come from this introduction. So firstly, the 21.9% charge or the calculation is calculated based on the 20% commission that is being charged on every fare. So to give you a fair or to give you a plain calculation, that will be 4.38%. Okay, that was supposed to be added to our pricing. Okay, but then this is the VAT, as you all know, is mostly pushed to the consumer to pay. Okay, so we at both are saying that we've made the calculation, and we are willing to take part of the surcharge that or the VAT being introduced or being imposed on riders. Okay, so this imposition is on riders and not on drivers. So that's why we wanted to have this call so that we can make the clarification here. Okay, so this does not mean that there's going to be an increment in commission, not at all. The commission will remain at 20% as it is right now. But then the VAT being introduced by government is going to be something that will be payable by the rider, that's the final consumer. But then the driver will be the one to take this surcharge and remit it to the government. Okay. So how is the final fare going to be calculated right now or be computed right now? So as you all know, our final price is made up of our start base price plus our per kilometer and distance covered on a trip, and price per minute or time taken on a trip. So that's what constitutes to the final price. Now we are going to add the additional surcharge, that's the 3.5% that we've mentioned, which is the VAT that we are supposed to remit to government. Okay. So just to give you a proper clarification on how it's going to be moving forward. So let's say we have three scenarios. We have like a short trip and a mid trip and a long trip. So let's take the first scenario here, as we can see here from 37 lorry station. This we are saying is without surge. This is like a minimum trip, or how a minimum trip is supposed to be. So without surge or without anything, or let's say there being a delay on a trip, the price is supposed to be 13 cedis. Now, with the new surcharge that has been introduced, okay, and we all know that previously, as we had a call with you earlier, we mentioned the booking fee that was introduced when we reduced commission, okay. So as you all know, we shifted part of the burden to the riders, which we termed the booking fee, which is payable by the rider, okay. So the new price, okay, in which will be now, which the rider will see now if the surcharge is included, will be 14 cedis. But then commission will only be paid on the 13 cedis, not the 14 cedis. So this means that the driver will take home the 11.40 cedis as it should be if there was no surcharge or booking fee included. So just to reiterate the points, so commission of 20%, which boat is charging, is only charged on the 13 cedis, not the additional surcharge included, or what we call the value added tax, which is paid by the rider. Okay, so the value added tax, if you see on the first slide, okay, which is 0.46 cedis, and if we include that, we add that to the booking fee 0.65, which pushes the price towards 14 cedis. Now, the commission is only charged on the 13 cedis. So if you see the final calculation of what's the take home or what the driver is taking home, it will be 11.40 cedis. You can compare that to the slide below. That's the old price, and if there was no booking fee or surcharge, you see that it is the same. The commission amount is 2.60 pesos. And if you subtract 2.60 pesos from 13 cedis, the take home will be 11.40 cedis. You can see the same for the next one, which is a mid trip. The surcharge will be 0.95 and the booking fee will be 1.35. The commission and the price is supposed to be 27 cedis, but then because of the new value added tax, the price now will be 29 cedis. Okay, but the driver's commission is only charged on the 27 cedis. All we are saying now is that the prices will increase, but then the increment in the prices does not mean that, or the value added tax being added does not mean that the driver is going to pay more commission. The driver will still pay the 20% commission, but then the value added tax burden is being shifted to the rider. So in this case, the rider is the consumer that we are defining here. He is the final consumer, so he is going to pay the value added tax. Okay, so let me just do the last one. That's a long trip, so that we appreciate how the calculation will be. So if you check the last one, right, from 37 Lorry Station to Nungwa Senior High School, the price is supposed to be 50 cedis. Okay, commission of 20% is only charged on the 50 cedis, even though the final price that the rider see and the rider will pay to the driver will be 54 cedis. Commission charge of 20% is only on the 50 cedis, not on the 54 cedis. So you see that the driver take home will still be 40 cedis as it's supposed to be. But then the driver takes the VAT and remits to us, which we intend remit it back to the government. So the driver is just going to be the middleman here, taking the money and remitting it to the government. It's just like when you go to buy something at the store, value added tax is added to prices of, let's say, Pepsodent and all that. Let's say you go to Melcom. Melcom just takes the money and remits it to government. It's the same thing here. So you, the driver, will just be taking the money and remitting it to the government. So please don't make the mistake of adding the VAT to your commission and thinking that you are paying more commissions. No, you are only paying 20% commission. Booking fee and operational surcharge, that's the VAT. The operational surcharge is the VAT that we are talking about here. So booking fee and operational surcharge is payable by the rider. The rider takes that burden. So the burden is not on the driver. So your earnings are not going to be affected at all with this VAT introduction. Okay. And these are something we want you to take home. There's some notes that you need to really pay attention to. So this VAT, okay, it's not something that boat is introducing or is going to be introduced on only boats. No, it's going to be on most of the ride-hailing platforms, okay? And we are compliant to add it. We can't go against the parliament. Parliament has already amended the act, okay? And we are supposed to comply because we are law-abiding company. We are supposed to post or being pushed out by parliament. So that's why this VAT introduction or this VAT will be introduced to our pricing. Okay, so operational surcharge is an additional fare component that will be added to the final price, as I've mentioned. to be payable by the rider. This does not mean that it means that we are increasing commission. No, this introduction is from the government, and we are being complied to do so. We can't say that we wouldn't. That's how it's going to be broken down in terms of commission paid, the booking fee, and operational surcharge. Note that the commission being charged is only on the normal price. Okay. The additional, that the booking fee and the surcharge, as you see, is something that is being added to be payable by the rider. Okay. And as I mentioned, we will remit the operational surcharge to the commission, that's the GRE. Okay, that's something that we will take. So you serve as the middleman. We always say, at Boots, we always look at new opportunities of bringing more to ride. Yes. Okay. This is something, as you can see, that's Bootstrap. It's something that we've introduced long time. It's called 0800 your family, your church members, and all those who do not appreciate smartphone usage. Okay, tell them that there's a new opportunity for them to have like a safe and convenient trip, or patronize the boat platform. All they have to do is call a toll-free number. Toll-free number here means that they do not pay, or there's no credits being wasted when they call this number. We take the cost of any communication. All they have to do is just call 0800 400 400. It's toll free. Okay. Thank you. We also have some app updates and features that we need to update you guys on. So I'll pass it on to the
Okay, thank you very much. So the very important part has been dealt with, and I strongly believe that we have all understood. However, if you have any questions, you can just put it down at the end of the presentation. You can raise your hand and then you ask a question. So let's move quickly to the rest of the presentation. Like you mentioned, that we have not reached a drop of use. To the new pickup point, right? This gives you a very accurate and vivid information or data on your next order, right? So now it's not from wherever you are, to the new pickup, but then from your next drop off to the new pickup. Then we also have the payment methods on the acceptance screen. So previously, you had the opportunity to see the pickup points, the destination, the person's name. Then you also see the distance to the pickup. However, we have added the payment method, cash or card, right? This, however, does not mean that immediately you see card, you just reject the order. If you keep rejecting the card orders, it's going to affect your acceptance rate. So try as much as possible that, be it cash or card, you are accepting it all, right? So that at least you would have a very good standing on the platform. Then we also have the pause button. There have been times where you are on an active trip, however, you may not be feeling too good, so you do not want to accept any other order, or something came up, so after that order, you don't want to take any other order. But then before you even get to the drop-off of your current order, another order comes in, right? Then you have to either cancel or go and pick up the person because the order has already come in. To prevent this, we introduce the pause button. So while you are on an active trip and you think you are not ready to accept another trip, you can just tap the hand button, that's sign on the top left corner of the screen. You tap it, and then this interface on the right shows, asking you if you need a break. So once you confirm that, immediately you end the active trip you're currently on, you automatically go offline. So no trip is going to come to you, right? This is to make working on the platform a bit easier and flexible. Then we'll now move on to the perks and then partnerships we have on our briefly about some things that we have currently running. If top performing drivers are awarded, okay, now all you need to do as a driver to qualify for some of these driver awards is to make sure that you are just working hard, okay? And it's also interesting to note that both of these rewards. So aside the monthly rewards, we also currently have a full partnership with Shell, which is now Vivo Energy. Now, then again, this is also to reward drivers with full cards and full discounts, basically. We know that you are working hard. We know that you are spending a lot of fuel driving from one place to another. And so we issue these fuel vouchers to reduce the burden. So in as much having a chance to win vouchers worth 100 cedis and above. You can win 100 cedis, you can win 200 cedis every single month just for being a top performing driver. We are currently also in talks with Allied to ensure that we are giving you more than just the 4 cards. So we can also reward you with 4 vouchers. And so you can even stand a chance of winning both just for being a top performing driver. And as some of you might already know, Bolt has an insurance running for drivers. Okay. And we know that driving comes with an element of risk. In the event where there's an accident, the Bolt insurance for drivers is readily available to you once you're on a Bolt trip. Okay. And we are currently working with Star Assurance. We've been working with them from 3rd May, somewhere 2021. And so once you have an accident on a boat trip, please feel free to reach out to us and then claim an insurance which would cover the accident. Okay. So what is covered? We cover the personal effects that excludes the cash. It takes care of temporary disabilities if there are any permanent disabilities from the accident as well. Please be informed that you are well covered. And then your medical expenses for any injuries to your body, and in the event where there's an accidental death of a driver or a rider, please be rest assured that because both has your all of these will be covered by the insurance, and so you don't have to spend to get back on the road. One new thing that we've also introduced is the motor insurance. Okay, and now you can buy the motor insurance straight from your Bolt driver app. It's very simple. All you need to do is to open the Bolt driver app. You see a section named Office. You just click on it and then you select motor insurance. Once you click on the motor insurance, you'll be redirected to a WhatsApp page. And then you have the opportunity to chat with an agent, and then you can purchase your motor insurance at a very affordable rate. Okay, so there's no need for you to worry about your insurance being expired. You can just open your Bolt driver app and then purchase a motor insurance directly and at a very affordable rate. These are all the things that Bolt is doing for you to make sure that you are well covered while you're working, so that you can go all out and continue working very hard as well. So please do take advantage of all these partnerships that we have in place for you. All right. Thank you very much. I'll hand it over to the next speaker. Okay. Now, I'm sure a lot of us know about sports branding. It's one thing we've been doing for a while that a lot of drivers benefit from. We have had a few changes within the beginning of the year to now. So we'll also let our branding officer explain things to you and then tell you how you could earn more with both branding.
Good morning to you. Okay, so on boats, there are various ways to earn more on boats, and boat branding is one of them. So as you can all see, you earn 235 Ghana cedis on a weekly basis, and then also a summation of 940 on a monthly basis when you have the boat sticker on your car. All right. So how do you earn this money? To earn this money, you need to just complete a minimum of 25 trips in a week, and then also 250 trips monthly. These are your normal rides you are doing on boat, and then you then be earning. All right. So the breakdown as follows. All right. So for 25 to 49 trips in a week, that's from Monday up to Sunday. The next Monday, beginning of a new week, you earn 35 Ghana cedis. You further it to 50, 64 trips in that same week, you then earn 70 Ghana cedis. And then as it goes, 65 to 84, 90 Ghana cedis, 85 to 114 trips, 115 Ghana cedis. And then the topmost 115 trips, which most drivers on boat are taking advantage of, or are really using. 115 trips in a week for 235 Ghana cedis. This is a lot of money, which helps in clearing
various debts, and then also helps you earn more on both. All right. So to earn this money, all you need to do is just get 8 or 9 trips done to earn this 235 Ghana cedis. All right, and then also look out for monthly activations where you can then earn additional souvenirs on boats, like the branded t-shirt, caps, and then other souvenirs on boats. I'll place the branding number here. So once again, it's solely for vehicle branding. I'll place it in the chat box. So if you're interested in branding your car to earn this, you take the number, place a call, or send us a message on WhatsApp to have your car branded at the boat office, Joe. All right.
Okay, thank you. We hope all of you on the call take advantage of this opportunity. Now to quality. Driver quality on the platform is very important to us. One of the things that is happening currently is that drivers are moving or starting their trips without their clients. And this is not accepted on the boat platform. If you are doing this, you are basically offending another driver who could have gotten that order and then taken the client and then completed the trip. You are also offending the client who was waiting for you somewhere under the sun, right, or anywhere else, waiting for you to come and pick them up. And then it's also not fair to us who are working tirelessly to make sure that you get orders to complete so you can earn more, right? If you do this, it's not nice. So please avoid doing that. Do not even reach the pickup point. Please do not do that. If you keep doing that, it would reduce your driver's score. Because at the end of the day, every trip that you start without getting to the pickup point is affecting your driver's score. So please do not do this. Sometimes at the end of the week, you realize you get your bonus, then you withdraw your money. Then later, that amount is added to your account again. It's because we have gone through all your trips over the week and then realize that some of these trips are not actual finished trips, right? So they are taken out of the total you have done, and then you lose the campaign bonus, right? So please do not do this. Then to rude behavior, we have some really nice drivers on the platform. However, there are some who are also quite rude, right? And as a driver working with other people, you should be able to at least tolerate certain things. You would not meet nice people all the time. People are different in many ways. So you meet people who may annoy you or do things that they shouldn't do in your car. But please know that you can just report these issues to us and let us handle them for you. We gave you the client, so give us the opportunity to handle the issue for you. So please, show as possible that you don't take issues into your hands for it to escalate, right? If any driver is reported for being rude multiple times, the driver will be asked to come in for retraining, right? And being blocked to come in for retraining is a long process. So I believe we'd all want to avoid that. Then reckless driving. There are some drivers who drive recklessly over.
Recording in progress.
Other times, you also realize that they are on their phone doing other things like watching sporting activities or some form of show when they are driving. And this is not allowed, right? It is not safe for you as a driver. And even the clients that you are taking to wherever they are going to, it is not safe, right? If you are being apprehended by the police, you may pay a fine. Depending on whoever you meet, you may be taken to the police station and then the issue may escalate. Your license could easily be revoked and taken away from you. So please make sure that when you are driving safe, because not just you, you have somebody else with you. So please be safe for us. And to another issue of in-app payment rejections, that's the car trips. We get some drivers rejecting car trips here and there. You accept the trip, You get to the rider's destination, tell the rider's pickup point, you tell them that, oh, maybe I'm in Chicago, or get down, I'm not doing the car trip. This is not nice. Sometimes in a day, you don't even get any car trip at all. If you have gotten maximum, the rest even reject the three that you are getting when you have more cash to do, right? So please make sure that you are accepting more of these card payments, because at the end of the day, it would help you clear your debt. If you have any debt on your balance and then you get a card order, it helps you clear it. So you won't have to put the cash that you have earned into your mobile money and then paying again. It's a hassle, right? It also helps you to improve your acceptance and completion rates, because you are not declining a lot of your orders. So please share as much as possible that you are accepting more of your in-app payment orders, because now you even see whether it is card or cash on the platform. So please do not accept the trip and then tell the clients that maybe I'm in call or please get down. Make your decision before you accept the order. And then this, I'm saying again, does not mean you should be rejecting the orders when you see it's a card trip. Please accept them and then complete them. Then now we'll go to some of the important things when it comes to customer support. We have a customer support available 24/7 when you reach out to us via the driver app or send in an email. When you send in your email or your tickets, please be patient with us. We'll reach out to you. If you send one and then you keep sending it multiple times, it keeps moving your issue to the top. And then when it's being worked on and it starts from the bottom, you realize that before we get to you, it has taken more time. So when you send in one message, please be rest assured that an agent will reach out to you. Then you can also visit our office at Jowulu from Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. through to 3 p.m. Now let's look at compensations. What are some of the issues that you can request for compensations on? The first one, we have GPS or network issues occurring during a trip. So when you got to a certain part of the trip, your network went off, so the fare was not calculated. For this issue, if you should report to customer support, they would work on it for you and then make sure that you are compensated after they have made checks to realize that the trip was actually not calculated due to network issues. Then if you also report that a rider made a mess in your car, yes, you can be compensated for it. However, we need proof to show that indeed there was a mess made in your car by the rider. Then again, you can also report that the rider did not pay you, or the rider paid part of the money, not fully. This also would have to look at, and then once we have confirmed, we would send you your compensation. Then if you also report that a trip fare was incorrectly calculated, we'll also manually check the trip. Once this is confirmed as true, you will be compensated as well. Then if you also report that parking or toll fee was not added to the total fare, we would also have to check this. Everything has to go through an investigation, because we don't want a case where others will say things that are not true. So we have to check everything to make sure that it is right, and all this may take some time. So whenever you request for a compensation, please give us about 5 days to work through the compensation and then let it get to your balance, right? The compensations are updated on your driver balances every Wednesday and Monday within the week. So if you want to see your compensations, just go to your driver earnings, select earnings at the bottom of the screen, then tap the earnings in the section, and then you see the compensation below, the amount that has been given to you. Then just to give you some quick tips on how to keep being a good driver on the platform to earn the chance of getting some of these rewards that were mentioned earlier. Be polite, keep your car in a good condition always. Do not give bad experiences to riders with regard to discounts or paying with card, Bolt is always ready to pay you back. We will always pay you back. Do not hold on to riders' items left in your vehicle. Just report to the Bolt team and then adhere to the response that you get. So for any other support issue, you can just write us via the app or send us an email, and then we'll get back to you. Now, to a very exciting part of everything. We work and work and work, however, all work and no play, as we all know, makes Jack a very dull boy. So we want to have fun with you, want to engage you, make sure that you have stretched your arms, stretched your legs, you are very fit. So we are going to have a second session of the events we had earlier in the year, somewhere in March. So this time around, instead of it being a soccer event, we are looking at athletics so that we can have more drivers participating, right? So you can have 100 meters, 400 meters, all of this in one day. So please, I'm sure some of you have seen a message including a form where you are supposed to form your teams to participate in this event. So please put together your teams, fill out the forms, and then send them to us. Then we'll get back to you on that. This event is promising to be very, very, very fun. Having winners of the various activities, getting prizes, very, very good prizes, amongst other things. You can bring in your family, your wife, your girlfriend, your kids, everybody to come and then just have fun with you, watch you participate, and then wipe down your running shoes, get everything ready for when we announce the dates and then the time and venue for the event. So for now, please make sure that you put together your teams and then fill out the form for us. Thank you very much. We'll communicate the rest of the information going forward. That's it for our roundtable today. Thank you for joining. We are so glad that you were here. And as many of you have been waiting for, it's time for our questions and answer session. For this part, it will be very important that if we are asking our questions or putting forward our suggestions, that we are very brief about them, right? If you're asking a question, please go straight to the point so that we can have more drivers asking questions as well. If you take too long on one question, it limits the time we could have to take other questions from other drivers as well. Please be sure that you are very brief with your question and suggestion. So if you have a question, you can just raise your hand and then we'll call you. Then you can unmute yourself and then speak. So starting, we'll call in Nicholas Amuzu.
Hello, good morning. This is Nicholas. Please, I would like to know where the branding of the car will take place and if there will be a charge on it. I actually want to know if there will be a cost of branding. Thank you.
All right, Nicholas. So branding is free. We don't take any amount of money from you. We rather give you money for branding for us and then doing the amount of tips that you are supposed to do. And then branding is done at the Bolt office or at certain remote centers that we have. If you want to brand, you can just reach out to us. I'll put the number in the chat box. So you can just reach out via WhatsApp on that number, and then we'll reach out to you with the available boat centers. If any of them is closer to you than the boat office, you can just visit them and then they'll do the branding for you. Right? And then if the boat office also close to you, you can just come here and then it will be done for you.
Thank you.
Recording in progress.
I support that. But why is it that when it happens like that and we cancel, and it affects our score as well? Because it's not right if driver is supposed to go by his own self, but rider cancel with somebody else or request and somebody else comes to sit inside. When it happens like that, what should we do? If we cancel, it affects our scores. What should we do? Second, with the finishing trips, you are supposed to pick the quest and end it. This is a situation, it has happened to me twice. I was almost finishing a trip and a request jumped in and the person cancelled. When I ended the active trip, my score reduced, so I couldn't make that money. Meanwhile, I've finished my hours, even make excess trips, but because of that request that came in and the person cancelled it, whilst I was on the trip, it affected my score and it affected my balance, my money. So I don't know if you can do something about a rider requesting whilst a driver is on a trip, and at the same time a rider requesting and he himself cancelling it. Sometimes you can even get to the location and you cancel. Sometimes you get to the location and that's not where the person is, and the person has to cancel or the driver has to cancel. What happens to that? At least adjust it in a way to help with the drivers. Finally, concerning the event, what is the incentive? Because if you pick a car, you have to make sales, and if you have to park a car and come and have fun, what is the incentive to that? So these are my 3 quick questions. Thank you.
Yeah, please, we would love it if maybe we can restrict our questions and suggestions to one so that everybody can have time to say something. But yeah, so to your points, right? As you first mentioned, that's on rider identification or somebody requesting for other people. As you agree, we as drivers, right, we want to make as much money as we can. So if somebody is want to request for somebody, or sometimes we have situations where the person might not have an app, so he asks for a friend to request for the person. Please note that if there should be a case, just as we will depend on the number as the unique identification, the same way that we will depend on the person requesting as the person requesting's number as the unique identification to verify whoever ordered, to make sure that we help in any investigation if there should be a problem. In light of this, that's why we've also introduced the caller booth, as we've mentioned, so that other people who do not have the app can also just call in, okay, to book a ride for themselves. And also, in addition to this, if there is any case where we sense that there's a fraud, a rider fraud, we are introducing something we call rider identification. I think some of the riders have begun seeing this. This is in light to make sure that we have identification of all riders on our platform, as we do for ride drivers as well. So be assured that moving forward, all that has been taken care of, and we make sure that we protect our drivers on our platform. On your second question, as you mentioned, as on the finishing, when you are finishing your trip and someone cancels, as our colleague mentioned, where you can report, okay, sometimes we do not know these things are happening to you. That's why we ask that you report these issues to customer support, so that we can help you in any situation that you find yourself. You made notes of some suggestions that we thank you for. We'll take it very very keenly and make sure that we make the service better or even best for everybody. On the third one, you mentioned the driver event. You mentioned what's the incentive. Okay. One, the incentive is to make sure that we have fun as and keep fit as drivers and as workers. Okay, we all drive as well, and sometimes it gets tedious, and sometimes we don't have time to have fun. And that's why we are making sure that we have like one day, okay, for us and our family. That's why we are saying that when you are coming, you can come with your family, your friends, your girlfriends, even, so that you can come and have fun. And also, in addition to this, we will have prizes for the winners. I don't know if you were at the first event. The drivers that won, every driver was compensated. Every driver in the team was compensated. Even the second place team was compensated. The third place team was compensated. That's the same thing that will be happening at this event as well. We'll be awarding those who are going to come out as winners at the various activities. So the incentive, you should know, is to have fun, and you'll be rewarded if you prove to be the best at your activities that you are involved in. Okay.
All right, so we'll take the next one from Percy, but it looks like Percy didn't join. Percy, you didn't join with your microphone. So we'll have to skip to the next person. That's CY. CY, please unmute yourself and then ask your question. Hello, CY. If you can
Okay, so I'm here. Okay, so I have one question about the new VAT system. Adding the figures, the booking fee, and then the surcharge or surge whatever.
The VAT charge.
But fine. Okay. So now, based on your first example, the original price was 13 cedis. The final price was 14 cedis. So that means 1 cedi has been added, right? And you say there's no charge to the driver. But adding the booking fee plus the VAT, that is more than 1 cedi. I don't know if you're understanding me. That is more than 1 cedi.
Yeah, firstly, not to cut you, sorry, just to explain that, okay. So that was figures that was rounded, okay. You see, there's I know the points that you are trying to make. So if I add the booking fee and the surcharge, that would be more than 1 cedi. And just to explain why, when we mentioned the surcharge, we said it was 21.9% of the 20%. That should have been more than 3.5% as stated. But then bear in mind, the booking fee is already at the driver's on the rider's end. So we do not want to put all the 4.38% in addition to the booking fee, that's the 5% we had. But all altogether, we are adding to the booking fee that we already had as 5% is 3.5%. Okay.
So then let the driver know that at least he is incurring some charges after all.
No, the driver is not incurring the charges. So if you check what we are saying, that's what I'm explaining here. If you even take the booking fee or the surcharge off, okay, or take the 14 cedis as you are saying, is you are left with 13 cedis. That's the only thing that we are going to charge commission on. That's 20% commission. That's why your take home will be 11.4 cedis. The 1 cedi or whatever.
13 cedis.
Yeah, I'm coming.
The 20% of 13 cedis is already equal to that 11.4.
Please.
Okay.
Sorry for muting. Please let me explain so that you come in, okay? So the 13 cedis, right, as you clearly mentioned, is the price. Now the surcharge and booking fee adds up, and we are saying that it will be 14 cedis. It's supposed to be 14 cedis, whatever pesos. Now, whatever pesos that's on, we are going to remit that, or we are going to take that charge. So if that charge is not on the driver at all. You get what I mean? That charge is on us. 14 cedis, 50 what the rider is paying. If there was supposed to be a 50%, the person who will take the charge will be both, not the driver. Because you are only being charged or commission based on the 13 cedis. And whatever is left from the 30 cedis is what you are taking home. So you do not take any cost in this at all. But whatever cost or whatever additional cost that was supposed to be incurred will be incurred by both and not the driver. I hope you get me, CY.
So very much understand. Is to Esther personally. I remember, I hope you remember myself and a certain rider, certain riders encounter. Her name was we had an issue. I was supposed to pick it to a destination. It was very late. When I got there and started the trip, her destination was the same as the pickup. Esther, you are the one who handled the issue.
Just so we can continue this.
No, listen. Let's find it out first. She told me I should send the woman's money back to her, and that 13 cedis was supposed to be taken out of.
Not to cut you. That's why we've mentioned, right? I agree that maybe you have an issue with the trip. Don't worry.
I paid money I wasn't supposed. I didn't get. I paid money I didn't get. She told me she was going to work on it.
You don't worry. If the trip even happened 2 years ago or 1 year ago, what I want you to do for me is go to that said trip, report it to our customer support, as we clearly mentioned. If you never receive the money, just state that in the email, okay? Don't worry at all, and our customer support will take care of this for you. Okay, thank you. I think we can move on to the next speaker. That will be Prince Bernard. Hello. Hello.
Hi, Bernard. We can hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My issue has to do with violation of the rights of the driver on your app. You see, as gig workers, all drivers are gig workers. We determine how much we take home and how long we want to stay on the road. The driver's score you have there, I am not your employee. You don't pay me at the end of the month. I work and pay you. Why then do you measure my productivity? And to the extent that you even stress the driver. That is my point. It has got a lot to do with human rights violation. There was a recent case in the UK where drivers took Uber to court, and Uber was made to start paying some form of, medical allowances. You don't treat me as your employee. Why then do you want to cage me like an employee? That is my first question. And the second one has to do with the earnings on your platform. For example, if I should take a short distance trip and it is 12 Ghana cedis, which I have experienced on countless times, I even came to the office to make a report. Surprisingly, the frontline officer wasn't able to give me any better explanation. I take a short trip of 12 Ghana cedis, and then your app charges the rider 12 Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, I am being charged. You say you are charging me 20% on the 12 Ghana cedis. I see that I've been charged more than 20%. Why is it that the how do you call it, your booking fee it's not added to that 12 Ghana cedis? But meanwhile, in the same 12 cedis, I am charged your commission, and you also take out your booking fee. Those are my two main issues. Thank you.
Okay, Prince, on the issue of driver score, okay. So driver score is not to cage you, but to ensure there's quality on the service. As you may know, for every service providing platform, there's rules or there's some requirements that you are supposed to follow. Okay, it's not supposed to cage you. So driver score is to make sure that there's quality on the app. So driver score only affects you when you are doing something contrary to what we call quality service. So let's say when you accept a trip, then you are not at the rider's location and you tap arrived, even when you are far away from the rider's location, and you said you have arrived and you start the trip and you end it. That is something that goes against your driver score. That is not something that is to we will say that we are stepping on your rights. No, we are saying that you are not going with the rules of the app which you agreed to adhere to when you register to be on a platform. Okay, so driver score is not an abuse on your rights at all, but to ensure that there's quality on the app. On your second point, as you've mentioned, I'm not going to say I know the price might be wrong or anything. What I would say is, as I mentioned to Bessie, whenever that trip happened, maybe it happened 1 week ago or whatever, what I want you to do is just go on that said trip, the same procedure that we said in a presentation, report that said trip, okay, make your points known on what your issues are, send that email so that our customer support will come in and solve it for you. Even if you didn't have or didn't get the right answers you need when you came in, please send it so that we can take a look at that for you. Okay. So we'll move on. We move on to the next person, Michael Bedu.
Michael, please go ahead.
Okay. Well, you about but
Michael, it looks like your network is not very good, so we can't hear you clearly. It keeps breaking off.
Is it better now? Is it better now?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Yes, I was trying to say that my question is well explained in your briefing to us concerning the VAT. Yes, so I have nothing much to say about it. But to also add, to the guy that's just left the platform who just has asked the question he should know that if we are not paying, we are not being charged for the VAT. Once it's being added to the fare, he should know that he's going to be the one to refund the money back. It's going to be included. It's just like buying other products, buying petrol. There are taxes on petrol. It goes up. The taxes are being placed on the fuel, so it's being placed on the people who buy it. and we pay for it. So we pay for it and then they go to clear it. So that's the same thing. But I also want to say that since the VAT has been added, why don't you also increase the fare so that the money will still go up for us? I mean, the fares are still not really pretty good. Okay, do a little bit of adjustment. The fares are pretty not good for us. So that's all I'm going to say.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much. The fares that we put on, then it's still something that we can put on the table. It's not off the table. Thank you very much. So it's almost time for us to end the meeting. However, I still want to take some questions. So I'll take questions from 2 more people, right, so that we can go back to our various activities. So Richard Donko, please unmute yourself and speak. And please limit your questions to 1, okay, so that we can move faster. Thank you. Please go ahead, Richard.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to say that just my colleague who mentioned human rights abuse. You see, when it comes to this right arrangement that you are having, we are your. So you don't like what you just call this meeting and you are letting us know the plans you have. We are your major stakeholders. So instead of the side events of having fun, I think that you should rather have a workshop where you call us and then you make presentations with your plans, then you take our inputs. You let us know how you feel about what we are experiencing on the rider. And I feel that I'm not ready to serve the person. Maybe the person is rude. The person has more than the required number of people to come in their car. Sometimes they even have, they are moving out of their houses, so fridges and certain utensils and stuff, they want to put in the car. And I decide I don't want to really serve the customer. And you reduce my ratings. Meanwhile, you are having a promotion for me to get something. And you reduce it. It becomes a rip-off. But when you get the inputs, then it can inform you, how do we now measure the driver ratings? Do we check with the driver too before we see whether what the customer is saying is correct? Sometimes they order wrongly and they cancel and they reorder. And all this go into our ratings. I'm in a traffic, a request has come, I've received. The person thinks that the time for me to get to his or her destination or pickup point is long. Then they cancel. Then you reduce my rating. Why wouldn't you say if the customer cancels without the consent of the driver, it's not affecting the driver's ratings? So when you bring the condition for us to get the bonuses and you add driver ratings to it, and you pick and choose how you reduce it, then it means you are really infringing on our rights. If the driver has the opportunity to decide how I serve the person, because I bought my car, I buy my fuel, I really clean my car and stuff like that. If the person is rude and I don't want to serve him, why do you reduce my ratings? It's the same thing with you. If you see a driver who disrespects, a driver who doesn't want to go by the rules and regulations, you take him off the platform because he or she is not making both popular. It is your decision. So when it comes to our decision to decide, don't use it to penalize us. That is what the guy was trying to make. So I would like you to rather put something together like a workshop to bring us for us to discuss. Then you take the decisions. Then we are in it together.
Okay.
So if it is safety, it is insurance, or it is a full issue that we are going through, then we know that we are together. But when you decide and then you call us and you ask and we ask questions, you even limit how much you can even see. It doesn't seem worthwhile or whether we would like to work with you. So I want you to really have a look at it and do a workshop so that we can give you inputs. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. And this roundtable was generally to just put forward what is happening with regards to the VAT charge, right? That was the main purpose for this, just to inform you and let you know what is coming, right? So that you all be aware and have an understanding. And with workshops and the events, we hold driver events at different times. We can have multiple ones, right? We've had one at the beginning of the year, and we're about to have another one. And the workshop is always on the table to do. So that is something we can do. It's not like we can do. So it's something we'll think about. We have even had sessions with other drivers, with our products team, right? Just for them to give us suggestions and then to tell us their views on some of the things that are happening. This is something we have done, right? So it's not something we can't do. We can do it. So thank you very much for the suggestion, and then we'll keep that in mind going forward. Right? Thank you very much, Richard. So thank you. We'll move to the last question, and please be brief about it, right? I know we all have our activities. Some people would want to go back and would also want to go back to the various things that we do. Right? So please be brief. We would call the next person, that is Original Leslie, if that is correct. So Original Leslie, you can unmute and then go ahead with your question or suggestion.
Good morning, Esther. How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Esther, can you hear me? Hello?
Hi, we can hear you, Leslie.
Yes, I have a small problem. We are not more seeing our ratings on the app. Why? Hello, Esther.
Hello?
You didn't hear my question?
Do you mean you don't see your driver ratings? If so, okay. Just assume the driver score is your new driver ratings. Okay. We right now we consider your driver score as your driver ratings. I think you are part of the old drivers, so you appreciate the driver ratings more than the driver score. That's why you are asking that. Hello, Original Leslie. I think we lost you.
All right, so it looks like we have lost Leslie there. Okay, so we'll take one last question. This one, the last one. Sorry for keeping you guys, but I will take one last question from George Henaku. If you could unmute yourself and then speak.
Good morning once again. Please,
good morning.
This is my worrying about. You see the today's earning. So you people have given the rider a bonus, but the money will be added to the today's earning. Meanwhile, the money that you, the driver, having is not up to the money boat has put in there. So how do you go about that? Because if you have given a rider bonus like 10 CD, then I'm taking like 20 CDs. My earnings supposed to be like 20 CDs for them, but it shouldn't be like 30 CD. Then at the end of the day, when you calculate your money, you've worked like 200 cedi, meanwhile you are having like 150 cedis. How do you go about it? If you can improve it, it will help us.
Yeah, so that's why if you check in the presentation, we presented the earnings breakdown to you. So the earnings does not only have the money that you have taken as in cash, okay? So the earnings also include the bonuses that you've won, the compensations that have been given to you because maybe you requested for a price review or something and was added. Okay, it has all that components and also discounts that were given to riders, all make up to all that is what adds up to be your earnings. So because we want to be as frank with you as possible or as transparent as possible. That's why we have that breakdown. So when you click on your earnings, you see the breakdown there. And when you see your cash there, you see how much cash you have taken. Okay. And followed by that, you see the compensated cash discount. That's discount that we're giving to riders. That's been added to your balance. And then you have compensations to that has been done by both to you. That will also be added, and your bonuses also be there. So that's what your earnings is about. And after the earnings, you see your expenses as well. So expenses is maybe what you paid to both, or maybe some deductions that's been done. Okay, all that is on the earnings side. So the earnings is just so that we are transparent to you to show you how much you've earned that day. Okay, it doesn't mean that how much you have in terms of cash. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. It's 11:30 now, so we'll end our session here. And with regards to the VAT charge, we'll follow up with an email so you can read and then it's 1st July. That's from tomorrow. Tomorrow, I believe, is 1st July. So that's when it will be implemented, and then you can see the breakdown on your invoice, your commission invoices as well. Right. So thank you so much for joining. It was really important to us that you were here, and I really appreciate you for being here. We'll equally follow up with an email to every driver on what we spoke about here today. Right. So that. I appreciate you. And then you can all go back to your various activities. Thank you for being here, and then we'll speak again later. All right, have a good day, everyone.
And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thanks once again.